Hello and welcome to Fallacy Friday. Today on Fallacy Friday we're going to be discussing the argument from design, or the false analogy fallacy.
Godless engineer, a conscious pioneer, a logic general, a reason brigadier. More bullshit from the pulpit. Meet me in the comment section and you get schooled, bitch. The Godless engineer.
Now, the argument from design is one of the more common arguments to a scientific worldview. This is also known as the teleological argument, and it commits the false analogy fallacy. Now, the basic argument goes kind of like, well, this.
I want to give you 4 very distinct reasons to believe in God. Individually, some of these arguments are stronger or weaker than others, but together I think they make a very good case for belief in the divine creator. The first reason is the argument from design. The premise is that where there is a design, there must be a creator. And when you look around the universe and at all of its intricacies, it's pretty clear that there is design. So if there's always a creator behind design, then there must be a creator for our universe. I mean, think about it. If you saw a wooden house on the beach, you wouldn't think that the wind or waves of a hurricane put it together. You would know that someone intelligent put it together. When you see design, you immediately know there's a designer. An atheist wouldn't believe that a painting came together by chance. So why would you think the same about such a wondrous universe? You know, there's actually this theory that if you gave 1 million monkeys 1 million typewriters, they'd eventually randomly type out the entire works of Shakespeare. Yet whenever we see Romeo and Juliet lying around, we don't think it was randomly created. It's strange that atheists would apply this same logic to the existence of everything. Even if you believe in evolution, evolution is just proof of a divine creator. The evolving order of species from simple to complex sounds very much like a well-designed and very intentional plot.
Now, to distill what Daniel said down into something that we can work with as far as analogies go, it would sound something like this. The universe is like a watch. A watch was designed by somebody. Therefore, somebody had to design the universe. There have been many to use this type of argument in the past, and that's why I'm addressing it today. Commonly, this argument is attributed to William Paley. It's also commonly called Paley's watch, or Paley's argument. But he's hardly the originator of this actual argument. If we had to attribute it to anybody, it would be like Thomas Aquinas. This argument was appealing to creationists and then made its way into intelligent design, whose argument is basically a case for irreducible complexity, which is just the argument for design via genetics. This leads us to the fallacies that this particular argument commits: the argument from analogy and the illicit minor fallacies. Now, just because this argument makes fallacies is not what makes it wrong. It just means that it's poorly argued. So don't take this as me saying that no, there is definitely no designer to the universe, although that's what I believe. I'm not making that assertion here. I am simply saying that the argument is fallacious and therefore shouldn't be used in order to argue for a designer of the universe. Now, the illicit minor fallacy is a formal fallacy. The fallacy is committed when you unequally distribute your terms over your argument. Here, the minor term, someone, is unequally distributed, which doesn't allow you to justify it as you do in the conclusion. Now, the false analogy or weak analogy or appeal to analogy fallacy, whatever you want to call it, the argument from analogy is just fallacious as fuck. This fallacy consists of using an analogy, which, uses 2 objects that have similar traits in order to make a point. Now, when someone commits this fallacy, it's because they have neglected to factor in certain important facts about the 2 things that they are trying to compare. Oftentimes, these important facts make the analogy just not work, even though to a lazy mind, it may actually work. Now, analogies are great for explaining things to people, for teaching people basic concepts, but they're not really good for using as a basis of an argument. Any false analogy argument can actually be defeated just by a reduction to the absurd. And this is really fun and easy to do, actually. I would really love to hear your reduction to the absurd down below, so be sure to leave those comments. For instance, in response to the argument from design fallacy, I could present this particular argument, which given their logic, would be correct. The universe is like a watch. A watch can be fastened around my dick like a cock ring. Therefore, the universe can be wrapped around my dick like a cock ring. Thank you for joining me on this Fallacy Friday. I hope that you will like this video and go down and leave a comment. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you on for future episodes. And as always, question everything.